This is a tough question to ask, but in hindsight is always 2020. But looking back, would you have done things differently?
You know, Nick, that's a good question. I think throughout this whole process, one of the biggest things that I struggled with was getting out of my own way. I kind of battled with like the morality of like, am I a good person? Am I a bad person? And AD always like navigated me. She always made sure that she uplifted me and made me feel like the best person, but I couldn't get out my own way. I just kept looking at myself in the mirror like, I'm not the guy that deserves like love and marriage. And, you know, AD really seen me through. She's honestly the love of my life. And I will tell you, honestly, I did make a mistake, you know, going to the altar and saying no. But, you know, it's like one of the things that you just kind of like go through and live through, you know, and I'm humbled to watch myself and see that there was different things that I didn't do well. And, you know, I'm definitely taking the work. I've been doing therapy to be a better person, you know.
Yo, as a mental health professional, it was incredibly hard to watch that segment of the reunion. 4% of mental health professionals are Black. Accessibility to mental health resources has definitely changed from our parents' time, but that doesn't mean we're not still sitting here with the stigma that mental health is, you know, for white people. Seeing therapy is a white thing. We are making strides to, you know, work against this, but it has never been more clear that we need therapy. We need to talk to someone about our issues. People are out here suffering. They're out here missing out on opportunities to enjoy a healthy love because they are having a hard time figuring out how to not take ownership of the trauma that runs rampant in their families. We know certain things like, you know, skin color and, you know, hair patterns and freckles and all of that is hereditary, but we don't talk about how contagious the trauma is, how difficult it is. I mean, since the season came to a finale, I've been making videos about how Clay really isn't the villain you all keep making him out to be. And I just hope that Black men out there in general, I hope they feel seen and heard as they watch a Black man be so transparent about his parents' transgressions and trauma and how it's affected him, and they realize how imperative it is that they seek help. As a professional that's been in this space, it was really hard not to cry. Not only for Clay sharing his experience about being on the show and feeling as though he made a mistake and all of that, but for him to even talk about another Black man, Brett, from season 4, who has struggled, persevered through the struggle because he had a different resilience within him. He had his own, rough patches in his upbringing, but he fought and he fought like hell. And for whatever reason, he was resilient enough to see it through. But recognize Tiffany wasn't operating in that same space of like, I'm going to be this for you. She just created a space. And I'm not saying this is a fault of AD's. And it does sound like she did eventually get to a place where she realized, yeah, I would never be enough to fix that, even though she still made certain comments that kind of coincided with the narrative of like not being good enough.
It just takes me right back to day one of falling for him and knowing that I could be everything that he needed and knowing that like there's nothing more that I could have done.
That was really hard to watch. It was hard. I definitely started tearing up because Black people as a whole, Black men and women, we are in this perpetual fucking state of hurting each other over and over and over again. And I tell people often, and you guys have probably heard this maxim before, hurt people hurt people. Please wake up. Do not get lost in the sauce of getting on TikTok and talking shit about, oh, look at this person. He's such a gaslighter. He's such a manipulator. This is that. Go seek help. Talk to someone, okay? I don't care who you talk to, as long as you are facing your shit. You can be talking to a therapist. You can be talking to a life coach, mindset coach. I don't care what. I really just need our people to stop thinking that I'm just going to pray it away. You cannot pray it away. You cannot drink it away. Honestly, we need an intervention. We need to be reprogrammed when we have been so afflicted by trauma. That was so difficult to watch. I really do hope a lot more Black women realize that it's okay to hold someone accountable without crucifying them. I don't think it's relevant to talk about a person's missing side tooth when they are burying their emotions out on national fucking television. Some of you guys aren't even honest with yourselves about what your trauma is, but you're so ready to point the finger at somebody else, someone who's being way more honest than a lot of people have. As a therapist, life coach, mental health professional that's been doing this work for a long time, I commend people like that. I commend people who are honest, forthcoming, and genuine, who can see their shortcomings and are trying. And people might be like, oh, whatever, BS. It is hard to find the right therapist. All of my clients have come to me telling me about nightmares of experiences they've had with other therapists. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all need to wake up. Y'all are sipping the social media Kool-Aid of talking shit about other people. How does your house look? You casting a lot of stones and living in a fucking popsicle stick ass house. Stand up, take accountability for yourself, your life, and assess, hey, what can I learn from this show? I appreciate people who look at this show, learn something from it, seek within themselves, and like Brennan said, this show is like therapy. It's an opportunity for people to have conversations about things they're not talking about. And I just really pray. My prayer is always that more Black men will show up to therapy to heal with people that are actually wanting to help them do that work. Because everybody wanted to make Clay out to be a villain. Nobody held AD accountable to the red flags that were in her fucking face, practically blaring, and hold her accountable to not being able to decenter men in her life to be able to have the discernment. No one did that. No one did that. I feel like it's important to be objective. I think it's important to look at both sides and be able to be like, yeah, that was wrong. You definitely got to work on this. You got to work on this. Everybody has some shit to work on. So no one should be throwing stones. Do your own work. Half of y'all have never been to therapy. Half of y'all would never make that investment, but you'll spend money on Yeezys, Jordans, crazy ass Balenciaga shit, Gucci shit. Go to fucking therapy. Do your fucking work before you crucify somebody else who is bearing their heart on national television. We want to complain, oh, men are not emotional. Men don't open up. Toxic masculinity. But look what y'all do when a man is bearing his heart. Instead of being like, well, they probably should have just both called it quits. Y'all want to villainize him because he was doing this Jekyll Hyde. Damn, I feel like I love her. That's a real thing. It's called duality. And it sucks. It really sucks. And I wondered why out of over 100 people, I only had about 3 Black men show up and commit to therapy. It's because of this shit. It's because of this criticism. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. So I pray that Black men somehow begin to create a community where they begin to support one another with emotional intelligence and they find compassionate people to help them heal. I pray you heal. I pray people that are talking shit look at their own fucking toilets and get a good scrubbing in, okay? Cause your shit ain't smelling sweet either, okay? Do your work. I know I do mine, okay? Anyways, that's all I had to say. That's like one piece of my Love is Blind reunion thoughts and shit. I got some shit I want to say, but I don't know. This is what I really wanted to say. That's it for now. Love you. Bye.